Alright, so in this video, I'm going to be proving to you guys that 2 plus 2 is equal to 5. So, to do this proof, what I'm first going to do is start with a true statement, that 0 is equal to 0, which is obviously a true statement because any number is equal to itself. Now from here, what I'm going to do is rewrite 0 on my left-hand side as 20 minus 20, and rewrite the 0 on my right-hand side as 25 minus 25. So now I get 20 minus 20 is equal to 25 minus 25, which is again a true statement because 20 minus 20 is 0, and 25 minus 25 is also 0. Now from here, I'm going to rewrite 20 as 4 times 5. So now I get 4 times 5 minus 4 times 5 is equal to 25. I'm going to rewrite this as 5 times 5. So I get 4 times 5 minus 4 times 5 is equal to 5 times 5 minus 5 times 5. And now, if I have something in the form a times b minus a times b is equal to b times b minus b times b, which is this form, well, notice how we can simplify this by factoring out the greatest common factor. So for my left-hand side, we have a greatest common factor of either a or b because both of them are in both terms. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite this as a times b minus b. Basically, I factored out a. Now for my right-hand side, all we have is b because that's the only term for my right-hand side. So I'll just factor out b. So I get b times b minus b. So now in the case of this, for my left-hand side, I'm going to factor out 4. So I get 4 times 5 minus 5, which is equal to, for my right-hand side, I'm going to factor out 5. So I get 5 times 5 minus 5. So now I have 4 times 5 minus 5 is equal to 5 times 5 minus 5. And what we can do over here is, if I have something in the form a times b minus b is equal to b times b minus b, we'll notice how we can just cancel these two out, meaning that a is equal to b. So in this case, I have 4 times 5 minus 5 is equal to 5 times 5 minus 5. I can divide both sides by 5 minus 5. And these two cancel out, these two cancel out, and I'm left with 4 is equal to 5. Now, going back to our original equation, I said that I was going to prove that 2 plus 2 is equal to 5, right? Well, what is 4 equal to? 4 is equal to 2 plus 2. So I get 2 plus 2 is equal to 5. So I just proved that 2 plus 2 is equal to 5. And now I know what you're thinking. This is mathematically incorrect, right? How can 2 plus 2 equals 5 when 2 plus 2 is equal to 4? Well, look back here and try to figure out where I made an error. So the error is actually right here in this step where I divided both sides by 5 minus 5. So let me write this right here. I have 4 times 5 minus 5 is equal to 5 times 5 minus 5, right? Well, instead of just going on and dividing both sides by 5 minus 5, what is 5 minus 5? 5 minus 5 is equal to 0, right? So this is basically 4 times 0 is equal to 5 times 0. And then now, if I try to divide both sides by 0, well, 0 divided by 0, that is not equal to 1. 0 divided by 0, that's indeterminate. So we can't actually cancel these out, because if we cancel it out, we're implying that 0 divided by 0 is equal to 1, which is wrong. So that's actually where I made the mistake when I canceled out the 5 minus 5s. I wasn't allowed to do that because that's basically dividing 0 by 0, and that is against the laws of mathematics. So this means that 2 plus 2 is not equal to 5. So, yeah. Alright, so in this video, I'm going to solve the equation x to the power of x is equal to x to the power of 2. So to solve this, I'm going to first start by dividing both sides by x squared. So these two cancel out, and I get x to the power of x over x to the power of 2 is equal to 1. Now, if I have something in the form a to the power of m over a to the power of n, this is equal to a to the power of m minus n. So I get x to the power of x minus 2 is equal to 1. Now from here, I'm going to take the ln on both sides, so I get ln x to the power of x minus 2 is equal to ln of 1. Now if I have something in the form ln a to the power of b, this is equal to b times ln a. So I can move x minus 2 to the front, and I get x minus 2 times ln x is equal to ln of 1 is 0. So now I get two equations. I get x minus 2 equals 0, and ln of x is equal to 0. X minus 2 is equal to 0. That simply means x equals 2. That's a simple equation. And for ln of x equals 0, I'm going to take e to the power of both sides. These two cancel out from my left-hand side, so I'm left with x is equal to e to the power of 0, which is 1. So these are my two solutions.